On the news around the world tonight, Nigeria, South Africa signed MOU to strengthen legislative ties. Stakeholders advocate shift in mindset on environmental sustainability. Ukraine signs defense deal with Saudi Arabia as Iran-Israel-US war continues. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Josephine Oluwabumi, and on the sign language corner is Shakirat Ogundeji. Nigeria and South Africa have taken a step to strengthen interparliamentary cooperation and democratic governance with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU between key legislative institutions of both countries. The agreement was signed today at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. The MOU is expected to deepen collaboration, remote knowledge exchange, and enhance institutional capacity between Nigeria's legislative support body and South Africa's provincial legislature. The initiative comes and growing calls for stronger intra-African cooperation, particularly in aligning legislative frameworks to support continental initiatives such as the African Continental Free Trade Area. Speaking at the ceremony, South Africa's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Professor Bobby Merge, described the agreement as a milestone in bilateral relations. The plan for state police being canvassed by President Bola Tinubu's inching towards reality, a major step towards its realization, was taken by Inspector General of Police Tunji Diso, chairman of the state police panel set up by Diso on assumption of office last month. Professor Olu Ogunshake submitted a 75-page proposal to Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin. The report is expected to guide the National Assembly in amending the sections of the Constitution. It was gathered that the proposal contains the mode of operation of the state police, its relationship with the federal police, some safeguards to prevent abuse, and laws to guide it, among others. The Nigerian Army under Operation Handakai has achieved major gains in northeast insurgency by intensifying offensives against key leaders and strongholds of ISWAP and Boko Haram. Theater Commander, Northeast Joint Task Force Operation Handakai, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Maiduguri today. Major General Abubakar said that in spite of recent attacks and losses, troops of Operation Handakai were steadily tightening the noose on insurgent groups and gradually reshaping conflict across the northeast. He said that the Nigerian Army and its Air Force components under Operation Handakai had sustained offensives targeting key leadership figures and strongholds of the Islamic State of the West African province and Boko Haram. Major General Abubakar added that recent operations had focused on dismantling insurgent command structures, disrupting logistics networks, and denying terrorists freedom of movement across critical corridors in Borno. Experts have expressed optimism about the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN recapitalization of banks in the country, noting that it will improve the banking system and the financial sector at large. A chartered accountant, Mr. Oludare Adewale, and a public affairs analyst, Bright Richard, made this known while discussing the CBN's bank recapitalization on BCOS TV AM 120 breakfast program. Our reporter, Olamide Olabi, who monitored the program, has the details.
Bank of Nigeria's 2024 to 2026 recapitalization exercise is set to conclude on March 31st, 2026, with the aim of strengthening banks' capital basis to support a $1 trillion economy. As of late March 2026, over 30 banks have met the new minimum requirement through capital raises, mergers, and acquisitions, generating over 4.5 trillion naira. Reacting to the developments on the AM120 program, a chartered accountant and legal practitioner, Oludare Adewale, He explained that recapitalization helps banks to synergize and enhances their capacity to perform effectively. He added that there will be no major losses as a result of the exercise, noting that the government has already put measures in place to mitigate any possible negative effects, including job losses.
Banks have share capital, and share capital is meant to do business. The money is supposed to be contributed by the owners of such banks, so that when the money is put together, it forms the chunk of what the bank uses to do business. Part of the business banks do is to fund the lending requirements, of their customers, and to do other projects, capital and other projects that the banks may want to do. So when ideally there is a certain minimum that the banks should have as share capital in order to start to do business. But over time, it has been discovered that this capital is being eroded. It's being eroded by inflation, by a lot of other factors, so that the value of the share capital is no longer up to what was put there in the first instance.
Also featuring on the program, public affairs analyst Bryce Richard stated that recapitalization is long overdue, describing it as the operational capital banks need to function efficiently. He explained that the Central Bank of Nigeria may have identified challenges associated with banks relying heavily on depositors' funds to finance operations, hence the increase in the capital base in line with the current administration's target of building a $1 trillion economy.
At 2004, when the first move came, it was from, I can't get the exact figure, but it was moved to 25 billion. And now we are looking at 500 billion. They have three categories. For the international banks, banks that has their branches outside the shores of Nigeria is 500 billion. Then the national banks is 200 billion. Then the regional bank is about 50 billion. If you do a comparison before that move and after that move, how the banking system operates, sometimes when you go to the bank, you always have these issues, this excuse, no network. You can spend like 3-4 hours in a bank trying to withdraw or trying to access your cash. And after that move, there was some form of adjustment. So now let me relate that with the retail banking scheme. The popular one that we can actually relate with is that of the POS.
They encourage Nigerians to view the bank recapitalization policy positively and support it as a step toward national development. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay with us.
Win your share of 3 billion naira with Nivea. 1,000 naira airtime guaranteed with every entry. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400ml promo product, scratch and dial to enter.
You're welcome back. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Health, has launched lenacapavir, a long-acting injection for HIV prevention as part of efforts to curb new infections in the country. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mr. Pate, announced the rollout on Friday in Abuja, describing the drug as a major breakthrough in HIV prevention. Pate said lenacapavir, administered less frequently than daily oral PrEP, would improve adherence and expand protection for individuals at high risk of HIV infection. He added that the injection will complement existing measures such as testing, condom use, and antiretroviral therapy. The coordinating minister that government is working to ensure nationwide access and awareness as part of its broader HIV control strategy. Incomplete dosage of medication remains a silent but dangerous practice among many Nigerians, particularly in the treatment of common illnesses such as malaria and infections. While some patients stop taking drugs once they feel better, health experts warn that this habit can lead to serious health complications. Our reporter, Oyeshile Oloyede, reports.
Across homes and pharmacies, the misuse of medications is on the rise, as many patients forget, skip doses, or discontinue treatment prematurely. Health experts stress that completing prescribed medication is not only vital for individual recovery, but also essential in safeguarding public health and preventing drug-resistant diseases. Speaking on the issue, pharmacist Oyetunji Amuson described incomplete dosage as the failure to take medications as prescribed, including skipping doses or stopping treatment too early. He explained that such practice can hinder full recovery and may result in relapse, where the illness returns shortly after symptoms subside. Dr. Amuson further warned that incomplete dosage contributes to drug resistance, reducing the effectiveness of future treatments and in severe cases leading to complications or deaths.
There are so many dangers that are inherent in a patient not using his or her medications according to how it has been prescribed. The simple example is, one is asked to use a medication for 3 days, or you are asked to use a particular medication twice a day or 4 times a day. By the time you use it once, if it is meant to be used 2 times or 3 times, and use it once, it is still an incomplete medication therapy. There are so many untoward events that can happen. But the most striking one, usually, depending on the medication, is that there will be incomplete treatment. Once there's incomplete treatment of a particular disease, then you just discover that there will be a relapse. That disease condition will come back again.
Also speaking, a health practitioner, Dr. Omotajo Olugbade, noted that incomplete dosage allowed disease-causing organisms to survive, adapt, and become resistant to treatment. He emphasized the need for patients to strictly adhere to instructions regarding dosage, frequency, and durations of medications. According to him, failure to follow these guidelines can result in treatment failure and make infections more difficult to manage.
There can also be resistance. We call it resistance, particularly to antibiotics. If you use antibiotics, you prescribe antibiotics for a specific duration, and the patient feels, well, I am better, so I can now on my own become the doctor and discontinue. It carries certain element of danger. You may even get better, but no sooner I do fail to get better than you will come down again. And when you repeat the drug, don't be surprised that the drug that worked initially for you the very first day you used it now becomes something that use it for a week, you are not getting any result. And that is where we have is a fundamental problem in Nigeria. People using drug on their own without prescription. They will just buy. Maybe the chemist or whoever has given the thing to them will say a medication that will be used for 1 week. Somebody is just telling you to use it for 3 days. You will not get. The only advice I have is that once a medical doctor you believe in gives you a prescription, please follow it to the letters. Don't become your own secondary doctor when you get home.
To address the growing concern, experts highlight the need for increased patient education, proper medical guidance, and strict compliance with prescribed treatment. Oyeshile Oloyede, BCOS News.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed fake and unwholesome drugs estimated at over 939 million naira in the southeast. It was reported that the exercise was carried out on Friday at the Anambra State Waste Management Dump Site in Awka. Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Christina Adeyeye, who supervised the exercise, said it was a decisive regulatory action aimed at removing unsafe, substandard, falsified and expired products from the market. Represented by a director in the agency's DG said the products destroyed included expired, substandard and falsified medicines, as well as unregistered pharmaceuticals, food, medical equipment and cosmetics. Professor Adeyeye said the presence of the products in the market was a direct threat to public health, adding that substandard and falsified medicines can lead to treatment failure, prolonged illness, drug resistance, disability and death. She also said that the agency's priority remains consumer safety and advised Nigerians to also purchase products from credible sources with NAFDAC registration numbers. Another time out, please don't go away.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath.
Get whiter teeth with a new Pepsodent Natural Charcoal Toothpaste.
Buy any participating Coca-Cola glass or PET bottle and stand a chance to win your share of 600 million naira in cash and seriously tasty prizes. There's 2 new millionaires every single day, plus over 50 million naira in weekly prizes. It's easy. Scan the QR code. Find your unique code under the cap or tab and check to see if you've won. Coca-Cola, a recipe for wonder.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
Thanks for being there. As efforts intensify to promote environmental sustainability, stakeholders are advocating a shift in mindset from viewing waste as useless to recognizing it as a valuable resource. Experts say that with proper implementation, waste recycling can significantly reduce pollution, improve public health, and contribute to economic growth. Our reporter, Folashade Akitola, examines the benefits of recycling household waste.
In Oyo State, environmental pollution remains a major challenge despite significant resources committed by the government to waste management. A tour around the city revealed that in spite of daily waste evacuation efforts, indiscriminate dumping of rare food on waterway and open space persistent among some residents. Over time, such practice contribute to environmental hazard, including flooding and disease outbreak. Ironically, many of the items discarded as waste, such as plastic bottles, nylons, cartons, and even food remnants, can be converted into valuable products and a source of income when properly managed. This process is known as recycling. The collections and reuse of materials that would otherwise be discarded, transforming them into new and useful products. This process is known as recycling. The collection and reuse of materials that would otherwise be discarded, transforming them into new and useful products. Rather than ending up in landfills, materials like paper, plastics, glass, metal, and even biodegradable waste can be repurposed into items such as compost, manure, and reusable material.
Into floaters, you will need machines. For recycling, you will need machines. But for upcycling, you don't need machines. Okay, look at my earrings. What am I wearing here? Look at my earring. This is an example of upcycling. It is waste. It is plastic bottle. But I did not have to melt or break down. I just cut, added creativity, and I have myself a beautiful earring here. So It is the solution. We need to start thinking right. We need to, first of all, change our mindset that something is a waste.
She further encouraged residents to adopt the 5 R's approach: reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, repair, and upcycle as a pathway to achieving a sustainable environment. In Oyo State, the government, in collaboration with private partners, is advancing plans to revolutionize waste management through Waste to Wealth initiative. The managing director of the project, Mr. Adedayo Mustafa, told BCOS that the initiative will not only boost internal generated revenue, but also significantly improve environmental conditions across the state. He added that recycling plays a critical role in addressing climate change and promoting a cleaner and a more suitable environment.
First thing is clean environment, which is more than having money in your pockets. If we are living healthy, if you go to all our dump sites, Awoton, Amuloko, Akinyele, Asunle, we know how it smells. Our job is to clean every dirt we have in our state. So the first benefit is making a clean environment. The second one is turning that environment, the waste, into money.
Residents are therefore urged to adopt proper waste management practice, as small actions at home can collectively drive a cleaner environment and a more suitable economy. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Concerns are intensifying about the post-service lives of National Youth Service Corps graduates who face daunting challenges in securing employment due to rising unemployment rates and limited job prospects. Stakeholders are advocating practical solutions to prepare young Nigerians for life after NYSA effectively. Our reporter, Abimbola Shawandi, examines the report, and the report is presented by staff reporter Bimbo Akombi.
The growing strain on the labor market has led experts to highlight the heightened significance of practical skills and self-reliance for graduates, making them more employable than ever. The chairman of the Board for Technical and Vocational Education in Oyo State, Mr. Ayuade Adekola, highlighted the significance of technical education in mitigating unemployment. Mr. Adekola noted that vocational skills enable individuals to become self-sufficient, create jobs for others, and subsequently reduce the burden on government.
The bulk of the Nigerian youth want to depend on government after youth service. I want to work with government, I want to work with companies, I want to do this. An average Nigerian youth is not thinking now on how to get himself or herself employed by herself or himself, because they don't have the technical knowledge. Some that are a bit focused, when after they finish, they now decide to go and learn a trade, either be fashion designer, hairdresser, or something that can easily get them money. Whereas if the Nigerian curriculum has inculcated into the scheme of things that you must learn 1 or 2 trades before you leave secondary school. When you now get to the university, you must now further those things. And not just learning it again, then practicalizing it. So that before you get out of the university, you already have one technical skill or the other.
He expressed regret over the inadequate focus on technical education, calling for heightened dedication from relevant stakeholders. Mr. Adekola lamented that technical education lacked adequate attention and urged stakeholders to make greater efforts.
The federal government and the state government should collaborate. That is, provide the enabling environment in our technical colleges. You provide a conducive sitting arrangements. You provide the machineries. You see, machineries that they will learn from, either if you want to do carpentry, you want to do catering services, equipments are there. Not that when you are doing the NYC, you will just go there and be learning theoretical aspect. When all these things are provided, it will attract the NYSC members there. In most cases, what they do when you put them to those industries to go work, most of them, they give them administrative work because they don't have the technical skill to work on the various machines and things that you have in those industries. So you have to provide them with necessary things before they go out. And what you need to do is improve the status of the various technical colleges, whether federal or state.
Also, some undergraduate students preparing for the NYC program also underscored the significance of early skill acquisition. They advised core members to capitalize on their service year to acquire skills that improve productivity and guarantee financial stability after the program.
After service, it's not easy to get a job, but just try to engage yourself in one or two things.
So like when I'm learning phone engineering, so everybody should try and learn something, probably skill, digital skill, maybe computer engineering, data analysis and stuff like that.
Stakeholders emphasized that imparting relevant skills to graduates is essential for tackling unemployment and ensuring a more effortless transition into life after the NYSC service.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has issued a 4-day ultimatum to the federal government to commence implementation of the newly approved salary structure for university lecturers. ASU President Christopher Piwona gave the directive while addressing members at Sahadu Zungal University, Yuli Campus, Bauchi State. He said the countdown begins immediately, warning that the union will take decisive action if the government fails to comply. Piwuna decried what he described as the federal government's persistent failure to honor agreements with the union, noting that such lapses have repeatedly triggered industrial disputes and strikes. The West African Examinations Council has announced the release of results for the 2026 First Series Computer-Based West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates. It recorded a marginal increase in the performance of those who obtained credits in 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. Acting Head of Public Affairs, Moyosola Adesina, confirmed the development in a statement issued from the Council headquarters at Yaba today and noted that the examination took place across 166 centers in Nigeria between January 28 and February 14. According to Adesina, 10,480 candidates sat for the examination, out of which 3,429 candidates, representing 32.72%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. Adesina further revealed that 43 candidates with special needs participated in the exercise. The executive chairman of Onara local government, Dr. Timitokwe Kolakpo, has called upon parents to support their children's involvement in sports activities, highlighting the benefits of physical fitness, overall well-being, and academic excellence. Dr. Kolakpo gave this advice while delivering his address at the Inter-House Sports Competition of Unique Brilliant Boys and Girls Academy. Our reporter, Fidura Afolaboye, who covered the event held at the Air Force Primary School, New Airport, Ibadan, has the details.
Unique Brilliant Boys and Girls Academy hosted its second Inter-House Sports Festival, marking a vibrant and exhilarating day that united students, teachers, and parents in the celebration of athletic excellence and school unity. The events commenced with a vibrant parade, highlighting discipline, coordination, and a healthy competitive spirit among the participating houses. The chairman of Onara local government, Dr. Timitokwe Kolakpo, commended the school in his address for successfully hosting the event and praised the proprietress, highlighting her exceptional vision. He underscored the value of unity and expressed appreciation to parents for their role in ensuring the program's success.
Sports and sporting activities are very much important in the life of children nowadays. àwọn parents kí ni wọ́n ṣe wọ́n á fà padà àwọn àmìjú lọ. tí wọ́n bá ní eré ló ń fẹ́ lọ́ máa sá tàbí ń fẹ́ lọ́ máa ja ẹ̀ṣẹ́ wọ́n á ní òun gbọ́dọ̀ lọ. anything sport parents didn't like it in the olden days. But nowadays, either we like it or not, the sports and sporting activities have become lucrative.
The mother of the day, Pastor Mrs. Grace Olaniyo, while addressing the gathering, emphasized the significance of the occasion, highlighting its role in enabling children to identify their strengths, weaknesses, and potential beyond academic achievements.
The advice I have for the parents and the students is that they should not allow their children to bury their talents. And the students are being advised that they should improve. Though it's good to be educated, because if they want to go far, they have to be educated. But at the same time, they should not bury their talents.
During her address, Mrs. Ronke Oke, proprietress of the school, underscored the school's philosophy that education transcends classroom boundaries, remarking that the event sought to aid students in uncovering and cultivating their potential. She recommended that parents refrain from imposing their personal ambitions on their children and instead focus on recognizing and cultivating their kids' distinct talents and abilities.
Just to make the students know how to work together as a team, and also to promote the physical fitness, to promote unity among the students. We always, believe that education goes beyond classrooms learning. Helping the children to, participate in this kind of events always help them to know their talents.
The students took part in a multitude of events, such as racing, bottle filling competitions, oversized shoe challenges, ball picking exercises, and many other thrilling pursuits. Upon conclusion of the competition, Green House attained the top position, Red House secured the second spot, and Yellow House claimed the third rank. The occasion was attended by notable figures, including the local Inspector of Education and the Permanent Secretary of Education. Fedora Afolagbe, BCOS News.
Another time out. Please stay tuned.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath.
Get whiter teeth with the new Pepsodent Natural Charcoal Toothpaste.
Thanks for being there. Now to our sports desk.
Sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewole.
Nigeria's young table tennis star Taiwo Marti has voiced strong confidence in the team's prospect as he prepares to make his debut at the 2026 World Team Championship scheduled for April 28 to May 10th in London. Currently ranked second in Africa and 26th in the World Team event, Nigeria will head to the OVO Arena, Wembley, aiming to bounce back from a disappointing group stage exit at the 2024 edition in South Korea. In the tournament, Aruna Quadri, Olajide Omotayo, and Bode Abiodun suffered defeats to Chinese Taipei, Czech Republic, Japan, Madagascar, and failing to advance. This year, the West Africans must navigate a tough group containing Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa to reach the knockout round, with veteran Aruna Quadri expected to lead the charge. With the global showpiece just weeks away, 20-year-old Marti is eager to make a strong impact on his debut while assessing Nigeria's chances against stiff opposition. And in football, Kylian Mbappe moved within one goal of equaling France's all-time top-scoring record as the Le Bleu defeated Brazil 2-1 in a friendly at the Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, the United States of America. 27-year-old opened the scoring in the 32nd minute, calmly dinking over Brazil goalkeeper Edison after being played through by Ousmane Dembele. It was his 56th international goal in 95 appearances, just one behind Olivier Giroud's record of 57 goals. Mbappe, who came off in the 66th minute for Marcus Thuram, was returning from a recent knee injury. France doubled their lead through Ugo Ekitike's close-range chip in the 65th minute, despite being reduced to 10 men after Dayo Upamecano's red card. Brazil pulled one back through Bremer in the 7th 8, but could not find an equalizer. Igor Thiago made his debut for Brazil off the bench, while star forward Neymar was absent due to fitness concerns. And finally, from Sport News tonight from tennis, American star Coco Gauff cruised to her first Miami Open final with a dominant straight-set victory over Czech 13th seed Karolina Muchova. The 22-year-old Florida native dropped just 2 games, winning 6-1, 6-1 in 1 hour and 30 minutes at the WTA 1000 event. Gauff would face world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in Saturday's final after the defending champion defeated Elena Rybakina 6-4, 6-3. The victory means Gauff will rise to a career-high world number 3 next week, overtaking former world number 1 Iga Swiatek.
And that will be all. And it's back to news around the world. My name is Toby Ajwoli.
Ukraine says it has signed a defense agreement with Saudi Arabia as Gulf countries continue to come under Iranian attack and the United States and Israel's war on Iran. Foreign News Desk Editor Falashade Akitola compiled the details and other stories as presented by Bimbo Akanvi.
He who arrived in the kingdom on Thursday said on X that an important arrangement had been made ahead of a meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
This includes all types of drones, Shahid, drones which cause serious damage to infrastructure, and FPV drones, which are now used for targeted attacks on military bases and equipment in the region. We offer the Middle East and Gulf countries a partnership that benefits both sides, our knowledge and technology and their funding.
Saudi Arabia has not confirmed the defense pact. Riyadh has intercepted hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles from Iran since the United States and Israel first struck Tehran on February 28. At least 6 missiles were intercepted on Friday, the Saudi Defense Ministry said. Kiev, which has long battled Russian drones, was quick to signal willingness to partner with Gulf countries after Iran began launching attacks on Gulf nations. Ukraine has become a major producer of cheap but efficient interceptor drones to counter Moscow's waves of drone attacks that have intensified since late 2024.
And Russia is also supporting Iran now with the drones so that they can attack neighboring countries and also U.S. military bases.
In the meantime, Russia has stepped up assaults in Ukraine's east in what may be the start of a spring offensive and launched an air assault of record size against Ukraine's western cities. Ukraine has responded with strikes against the USTG Luga and Plymouth oil export terminals in the Baltic Sea, severing as much as 40% of Russian oil export revenue, equivalent to 2 million barrels of oil a day, according to reports from the Reuters news agency. It is the most severe oil supply disruption in the modern history of Russia, the world's second largest oil exporter, the press reported. Ukraine attacked Russian oil exporting infrastructure on Monday and Tuesday this week. Ukraine's general staff said drones struck an oil tank farm and oil loading pier at the Transneft Port Plymouth oil terminal in Primorsk, west of St. Petersburg. Satellite footage suggested at least 5 of the 18 tanks were damaged. The general staff also said drones had struck the UST Luga oil offloading platform in the Baltic Sea on Tuesday night. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has gifted North Korean leader Kim Jong-un with a rifle as they signed a friendship treaty in Pyongyang, state media reported. The two leaders, both key supporters of Russia's war in Ukraine, agreed to cooperate more closely and resist pressure from the West. Lukashenko joked to Kim that he brought him an automatic rifle just in case enemies appear, according to a video released by Belarusian state media. In turn, Kim gave Lukashenko a sword and a vase featuring a portrait of the Belarusian leader. Lukashenko described the friendship treaty as fundamental, while Kim said it will further guarantee the stable development of bilateral relations. The two leaders also agreed to cooperate in fields ranging from agriculture to information to public health. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. Nigeria and South Africa have taken a step to strengthen interparliamentary cooperation and democratic governance with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU between key legislative institutions of both countries. As efforts intensify to promote environmental sustainability, stakeholders are advocating a shift in mindset from viewing waste as useless to recognizing it as a valuable resource. Ukraine says it has signed a defense agreement with Saudi Arabia as Gulf countries continue to come under Iranian attack amidst the United States and Israel's war on Iran. BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. You can reach us on GoTV, channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. And now, before I go, don't join hoodlums in threatening the peaceful coexistence of the country. It is only in an atmosphere of peace that development thrives. And that ends the news around the world. On behalf of the news crew, I say thank you very much for watching. Good night.
So creamy, tastes better with Cremella.
Enjoy the deliciously rich taste of Cremella Crema.
For any other choice of meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even between meals.
It's hard to resist the deliciously rich taste of Cremella. It tastes better with Cremella.
Confirmed. Thank you, ma.
Card don't finish, oh. Hi. Madam, we don't cast.
Not when I help Pompey.
Finally.
With PamPay, your business never stops. Pay bills, send money for free, accept card